Hi. I want to talk. It's been a better day. Got a few things I want to talk about. It's a little precarious setup, so if I drop you, it'll be just a second and I'll put you right back, I promise. Um, I know y'all are familiar with the grief process where denial, bargaining, depression, eventually you get to sadness or acceptance. Got some depression in there. And I was going through it since September 9th of 23 is when I got here. And been going through it a lot. It's been real difficult. And then she showed up April 8th. Put me right back into it again. That's what I've been talking about the past few days. And today, or my last video, I hit the bottom. And today, I talked with a lady that has experience selling trailers in the lot here. And she said, why don't you just go? And I said, that makes my stomach hurt because I don't have a place to go. She said, why don't you just put your stuff in storage, find a place to rent, a motel to rent, and just go and find a place when you get there. I said, I don't know, I haven't done that. And then I started thinking about it, and I realized that Cheryl would do that. That's Cheryl. It's like, I got some pictures. Can you see that? That's whitewater rafting Cheryl, and that's motorcycle Cheryl. That's another motorcycle Cheryl. Yeah, she she went away, but she needs to come back. And so I think I need enough money to get my Jeep in shape. Make sure it's safe. So I need tires and I need to make sure the engine's okay. So, this is doable. Cheryl says this is doable. So, y'all leave some comments down there for me if you want to go on this journey with me. I know you'll inspire me, but if you want to go on this journey with me on the process of getting it going, I started the process of manifesting it today because I spent, okay, Cheryl, get down there and spend 15 minutes cleaning up the inside of your Jeep. And the gas gauge went off today, so that kind of told me, okay, that's a beginning. So, that's good. That puts me on my journey. So now I want to tell you about how this nightmare with Jay started, because I can tell you this now because I told you in the last video that I'm stuck with the love, and I kind of rethought that because maybe not. I think this is a separation type anger I got going here. I'm not feeling such a connection now because I think she pretty much disconnected that, and I'm just not feeling it. So let me see, I wrote it down. What her main thing seemed to be was that she had done everything in her power to please me her whole life, and nothing ever worked. And this really didn't make any sense at all. I could never figure out any specific thing that she did try to do. She never. The one thing that she did do when I was in New Orleans and my dog was, I had to put her down, and she did fly down there and help me with that, and I was really grateful for that. But that seemed to be her thing, and what she did is all of the friends that she had that respected me, I was like the second mom. Somehow she turned them all against me. They wouldn't talk to me. They wouldn't even say hello to me. That was kind of her thing. She decided that she wanted to kind of build this story around her to make everything for her and against me for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, she started the nightmare with this, I call it an indictment, this letter that she wrote. And she started it with her graduation. And her graduation was really important, and she knew this. I was the first person, the first Nicholas, to graduate. And I wanted her to graduate. I wanted her to carry it on. So it was important. I told her I was going to cry at the ceremony. I was way up high in the balcony. I told her I was going to cry. And I flew her best friend from Louisiana up and my best friend from Louisiana up, which was her best friend's mother, plus my brother from Oregon up. And everybody went to the ceremony and I cried. And then I had all of her friends from where we lived, all of her high school friends, as a surprise for a big Italian dinner in the restaurant where we lived. And we all did that, and then another party at the house that evening. So it was a wonderful time for her graduation. All kinds of presents for her, and then she went on a vacation after that I paid for. And so in the letter that she began with her graduation and how I spoiled it for her because I cried through the whole thing. I cried through the whole graduation, through the whole dinner, through her whole party. I had pictures, but I didn't bother even to show it. But she did that because she knew how important it was to me, and it hurt. It was hurtful. Another thing she did was bipolar personality disorder. I don't know if y'all ever heard of it, but it's one of the most difficult disorders to work with, to diagnose, to figure out, to deal with. And somehow she came up with this. And I think she must have checked the book out and she went down the line with the symptoms, and then she went through everything that I ever told her in my life, and then some things I didn't tell her, and listed them to show that I had this disorder. That's what I think she was referring to. Picked out things on purpose to hurt me. And she even pulled out the one person that was my one soulmate, that I shared with her a lot of things about this person that was my one soulmate. And I knew him from the 70s and my 20s. And we traveled across the country back and forth. And I shared a lot of things with her about him. And she brought him up and put him in this letter. And a few other things, but that's what she decided to put in this 10-page letter to kick off this nightmare. And okay, wasn't too long after that she told me she was going to sell the house and I had to move, right? And I decided today, this is just a sample, I know you know that, and I could tell you more anytime you want to know it. I'm an open book. If you want to know more, just ask me questions. There's lots of stories, believe me. And I think I'm over the crying. I might have a few more tears of a few more stories, but I'm over the major crying. What was I saying? What was I just saying? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, she decided to sell the house, and then she told me I had to move. Oh, I was going to tell you about this guy that made the comments. you can't block people on YouTube, I discovered, but you can make it so you can't see their comments, because I didn't want those comment interrupting our discussions, our comments. So I could make it so his comments can't be seen, so I don't care what they do. The deal with him, though, it's a friend of hers, and it was fine, you know. I was friendly with him, I thought. I didn't really spend any time talking with him. He had a brother. He and his brother were at the house when she was living there. And I guess he owned a Munchie Dude. It's like food delivery. And they were going to load my stuff, take it to her new house, and then I had movers that were going to come and pick up everything and take it to where I was going to be. And she wanted to change my whole plan, and I didn't want to do that, and I think it made her mad. And they were bringing, I had an antique dresser, you might know, waterfall dresser. It's from the 40s. It dips down, it's got a vanity. It's really cool. Anyway, they were bringing it out, and I said, wait, you got to take the mirror off because you can damage the mirror. I was trying to be nice. And they said, that's okay, we're just going to put it out on the street. And I said, wait, what? And then she comes out with the 4 boxes. She says, yeah, put your stuff from the drawer, because I had the drawers all taped, you know, secured. Put your stuff in these boxes. They're going to put it on the street. And I said, wait, what? And the guy that made the comment says, well, yeah, you're doing all this yelling and screaming. I said, wait, what? Because I had fallen asleep. Well, because they had been gone, I'd fallen asleep. And I said to her, I said, what are they talking about? And then she says, well, I guess I was a little bit frustrated when I was talking to them. It's like, okay. So they didn't put it out on the street. They loaded it up. But every piece of furniture they loaded it up ended up having dings and scratches. So, what a freaking nightmare. So anyway, that what he was saying was an example of what she was saying to all of her friends. And I never even had a conversation with them. When she was living in the big part of the house with her boyfriend, and I was in the apartment at that time, this was prior to her going to sell the house and everything, she would come over to work on our relationship, but she'd say 2 sentences and then get mad and go over to get his attention, to cry on his shoulder. It was nuts. That was during the time where she, before I went to Nicaragua, when I was taking the Spanish classes, and I came home at one point, and she had thrown my stuff outside. And I looked through the kitchen door when I was picking the stuff up, and she looked at me really mean as she threw the pictures from the cruise that we took in the trash. It's like, oh my God, something evil. And then I was thinking when we lived in Louisiana for a while. When we moved back to Washington, her biological side of the family, she had a biological sister that we didn't know existed that looked her up. There is an extreme amount of similarities that she had never seen her before. Emotionally, physically, personality-wise. So maybe that's where a lot of this craziness came from. I don't know. But it's evil, and it's not me. I never thought of having an affair with a married man. I really didn't. Really never had the opportunity or the desire that, or never had it come up. I can't say I never would, because I never felt that strongly for someone where the question would even come up. You know what I mean? But I certainly would never treat anybody that I cared about like she has treated me, ever, 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 ever. What else did I want? Okay, that's about it. I just wanted to let you know that if you anything that you want me to talk about, just put them in the comments, and I'm gonna start manifesting me going to Humboldt County. Manifesting works. Manifestation works. I've done it through my life. I just got really messed up here over the past year in manifesting anything but my own misery, to be honest. Oh, the other person I contacted was somebody that was the kind of person that you look at and you see light. I met him in Grand Pacific, and he helped in Nicaragua, and he helped me with my house. So two people today helped me get to the point where I can decide to manifest. So, I'm back on the road to where I want to be. And I appreciate y'all's patience and your inspiration. Would you please share this video? And hopefully I can get a little bit more money in my GoFundMe so I can get my Jeep fixed. So I can get my trailer listed. So I can get on the road. And I'll take you with me. Thank y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Good night.